When God needs to make a man great, what does he do to that man? He isolates him. That is having or making a person feel or be alone, completely set apart from others. A man can have a lot of distractions that are keeping him from becoming the man of God that he needs to be for his future and for the kingdom. Whether that be mental, spiritual, physical, or emotional. It's something that's keeping him from becoming that man of God he needs to be. God will put that man in a season of isolation that is complete disassociation from the world in order to mold him into the man that he needs to be. He will cut him away from anything that is keeping him from his purpose, anything that might distract him, whether that be sin, people, things, etc. And while I got this revelation, I wanted to share this with y'all. I thought about Joseph. Joseph was sent to prison because of Potiphar's wife coming on to him. Mind you, Potiphar was the man that gave Joseph all the authority in his house. But as soon as, Potiphar's wife comes on to Joseph, he feels betrayed. And so he's like, hey, I got to send you to prison because, that's my wife, man. Y'all stay with me. Stay with me. And so while Joseph is in prison, he meets these two guys. One is a wine servant and one is a baker. And these two guys, they had these dreams that they couldn't interpret. And Joseph is in there and he could interpret these dreams. So Joseph says, hey, I see what you're saying and I'm feeling what, God is revealing to me about you. Here's what this dream means. And he does this for both of these men. And amidst all this, after all that goes down, the men ended up getting freed. The wine servant goes free to serve Pharaoh and the baker ends up being killed. And while the wine servant is on his way to go meet Pharaoh, Joseph is like, hey, I need you to talk to Pharaoh in hopes of freeing me because I don't want to be in here no more. And the wine servant's like, yeah, I got you. So time passes by and Pharaoh ends up having these two dreams. You see where I'm going with this? Stay tuned. Pharaoh has these two dreams and he can't interpret them. So he gathers up all the religious leaders in Egypt and he tries to get them to decipher these two dreams that he had, but they can't. And immediately that light switch in the wine servant's head goes off. Even after forgetting Joseph, he remembers him. And he tells Pharaoh, hey, I know a guy. You deciphered my dream for me while I was in prison. And so immediately Pharaoh was like, hey, I need this guy here right now because no one else can decipher my dream. So I need somebody. Joseph comes out of prison. He deciphers the dreams that Pharaoh had. He had two. And he tells him exactly what God is revealing through those dreams. Immediately after he deciphers these dreams for Pharaoh, Pharaoh gives him complete authority over all of the land in Egypt. Where am I going with this? Even in terrible circumstances, in prison, just terrible, God was still beside Joseph. He was always with him because he was preparing him for his greatness. He was preparing him for his destination. God always has a much greater plan. It is the testing before the victory. There's a reason everything is failing in life right now for you. It's because you don't have God as your central heart piece. So he's isolating you. In this isolation period, he will do what he needs to do in you. And what comes out of that is a man forged by God. God will put you in places alone until you realize that he is all that you need. And out of that comes your destination, your greatness that he has revealed through you. For the present trials we face now don't compare to the glory that will be revealed in us later. Romans 8:18. Stay blessed up.